2, 3. Alright, this is my dream underwater camera setup. Let me show you my housing. Woo! Alright, let's talk about the camera first. Why did I choose the FX3? To me, the perfect setup, because I'm not an underwater pro, is to have something that's small, light. The second I think about taking a Red underwater, it's not so much the price, it's the housing size, it's all the accessories I need. The sheer size of everything I would have to travel with becomes a bit more difficult, and I'm a pretty simple casual guy. So I decided to go with just a mirrorless camera. That was a concession I made. Of course, I really want R3D underwater, especially to be able to do white balance and post. The perfect setup is the one that I just will always use and always carry around, and this is tiny compared to what a housing for a proper cinema camera would be like. And I'm happy. And the reason I chose the FX3 and not the A7S3 is there's no EVF. So not having an EVF makes the housing a lot smaller. You don't need all this extra stuff up here just to make it fit. You don't need all the extra optical blocks just to make the EVF visible. So this is really compact and small. And let me just show you the housing now. Let me just stick the camera in. Let me first just show you the amount of engineering that goes into these cases. This housing is why it's so expensive. It's, you take a look here and you just see so many moving parts, gears. It's such a precise thing, not just to be able to withstand the pressure of being underwater, but getting so many functions and buttons out of it as well. And here I have the option for the USB port. So I'm gonna stick in my USB-C first, and then stick in my camera and lock it. Simple, it's not gonna move. Just so well made, incredibly well made. And I'm gonna turn on the meter for the vacuum sealing. There we go. Now we've put the camera in, and let's build up the rest of the ports. For this demonstration, I'm going to use my 16-35 G Master 2. I've already put the zoom gearing on here, so what this does is, underwater I can control the zoom from the camera. You could already see right here the zoom is working. One thing I really love about Nauticam housings is that every part has a lock and a lever. And it also gives me an option, I don't have it right now, but to be able to focus manually as well. And here we go for the next extension. Locked in, locked in. This is a glass optical dome port. I was debating between going for the WACP, especially the compact one, the C, but decided in the end to go with the normal good old dome because IBIS. The WACP, you have to manually set the IBIS because the lens is going to tell the camera the wrong focal length because it's optically adjusted underwater. So I didn't want to constantly deal with setting my own manual focal length for IBIS, and therefore, that's why I have this. Now, locked and loaded. Another great thing is the vacuum seal check. You'll see it blinking blue sporadically. And what I'm gonna do now is make sure it's vacuum sealed. It's gonna turn yellow and then it's gonna turn green when it's fully sealed. There we go. Just give it 1 or 2 extra pumps when it turns green. Actually, right here you can see where the USB-C thing was as well. So between dies, unless I want to change lenses, I don't have to adjust anything. I'll just stick in my computer via USB-C to download my data, and then I can charge from here as well, so I don't have to remove anything. Now I'll stick on the arms. Now my lights. I chose to go with the Kelvin 4X. I knew immediately I was going to go with Kelvin. The difficult thing was between the 8XRs and these 4Xs. Very powerful, still 10,000, and I'm quite satisfied with it. I also like them because they're purple, not gonna lie. I like colorful things. These clamps are all from Nauticam. I highly recommend you don't cheap out on clamps because I've used the ones from Lazada and AliExpress and they're not fun to use. They start getting creaky. You have to adjust it a lot just to get it to move a little bit. You know, ideally you want it just loose enough that you can move it underwater without being insecure. This is very difficult to do with cheaper clamps. Okay, so I'm gonna put the lanyard up here, and this is on purpose for very good reason, because when you're getting off the boat and someone has to hand you your camera, it's much easier when it's up this high, as opposed to being low and it could bing around and someone has to really crawl over when you're giving it back when you're done with your dive. So this is much more sensible. When you're diving, of course, I can move it down. Nauticam has these clips right here and back here, so I can relocate it. But when you're giving it to and from people, it's much better that way. For Instagram, of course, I'll have it here and have the lights nicely spread out. Sure, that looks better, yada yada. But yeah, and that's my rig. And my lanyard is pink, purple, and blue on purpose to match them, to match the lights and the Nauticam stuff. And finally, I have the Keldon's red filter. I went with the SF2 because I just wanted a little bit of oomph. I didn't want to lose too much light, even if I do have a good low light camera. The ambient filters. This is really special because it'll let you allow to use your light and the red filter together underwater. This is very unique to Keldon, and these are brand new. Actually everything is brand new, so I can't wait to try it out. And I'll have to report back maybe later on how it all goes. Thanks for watching. Let me know if you have any questions. I'll try to answer them. My first dive is in 2 weeks. By the time I finish editing this, maybe I would have already gone on my trip and I can, respond with a bit more experience. Thanks for watching.